One is a still picture from inside the courtroom, the first image of Donald Trump as the processes are now underway. In fact, the first set of processes of his fingerprints being taken are over, and this is the arraignment that is underway at the moment. The still picture emerging from inside the courtroom. On the right hand side of your television screens are live pictures of the corridor through which you just saw Donald Trump moving from one part to the other using this corridor. As we were pointing out, normally these glass panes are not blacked out, but today, as a part of an extra security measure, that has been done as well. Tina is now joining us live from outside the Manhattan court. Tina, what are the scenes outside at the moment, even as the arraignment is underway inside the courtroom?
Oh, it's just been crowds all day gathered here outside of the courtroom. Large crowds, both a combination of Trump protesters and onlookers, police. It's been nonstop activity outside the courtroom.
You can still see a lot of people around you. Are these supporters of Donald Trump expecting him to address them after he steps out, or they are just there to show their solidarity with him today?
They're here mainly to show their solidarity. Former U.S. President Trump will be speaking later this evening after he returns from New York to Florida. So there will be a rally at the Mar-a-Lago estate in Florida. And so he will be making remarks there. Today, there were just protests and a lot of verbal sparring between the two camps of Trump supporters and anti-Trump demonstrators. So just a lot of activity, a bit of a circus really outside of the courtroom today.
Tina, we have seen Donald Trump wearing a very somber look. That picture that has been released from inside the courtroom, one still the first image coming through, and when we saw him moving through the corridor. But before entering the court, he did wave to people outside, did he?
Yes, he gave a quick wave to the crowds that had gathered outside before he slipped into the court building to be arraigned.
Tina, also, what do we know right now about what is happening inside the courtroom? Can you give us some details?
Well, it's standard procedure, really. He was booked. He was fingerprinted. It's not clear right now whether he had his mugshot taken. But then he had the charges formally read to him, and the indictment was unsealed. His defense attorneys had an opportunity to review the charges, and then he had the opportunity to plead guilty or not guilty.
And that arraignment is still underway at the moment. How long is it likely to take, Tina? Do we have an idea?
It should be wrapping up pretty quickly because DA Alvin Bragg is actually expected to make announcements to some remarks as well around 3:30 local time.
Which will be in about half an hour from now. Is he likely to address the media, Tina? And what is he expected to say?
That's correct. It's expected that he will just shed a little bit more light on what happened inside the courtroom. As you know, a lot of the press were prevented from going inside. There were no video recordings allowed. A little bit of still photography allowed, but fairly standard procedure. And really, I think it's what happens after today that will be interesting to see. Remember that no matter what, none of today's proceedings prevent Donald Trump from continuing to run for the 2024 election. And a lot of the support that showed up today is really about looking ahead, and his supporters were boisterous in their support of Donald Trump.